Stratford-upon-Avon lies on the banks of a slow, gentle river. In 1564, it was a busy town with narrow streets and small shops. Local children ran barefoot over the stone paths while horses pulled carts loaded with grain and cloth. Market vendors sold apples, bread, fabrics, and leather gloves. From John Shakespeare's Globe shop came the smell of fresh leather. From nearby chimneys drifted wood smoke. The river's soft flow mixed with laughter and voices. Every sense in Stratford seemed alive, and it felt to William as if the whole town were a stage waiting for its story. William Shakespeare grew up in this place as the son of John and Mary Shakespeare. His father made fine leather gloves, and his mother taught him to read simple words. William smelled fresh leather and heard the hammer hitting the workbench as his father cut hides. He felt the rough wool of a glove in his small hand. Mary praised him for each new story he read. Yet William's mind often wandered beyond the shop windows. He listened to travelers' tales in the street. His heart was curious about places he had never seen. Since childhood, William has asked many questions. He would look up at the sky and ask, "Why is the sky so blue?" He would see two people arguing and ask, "Why do people lie?" He asked simple questions that showed his eager mind. Every answer made him happy and excited. He practiced new words slowly and clearly. His eyes shone when he learned something new. His questions made people smile and share stories. William never stopped asking for more. One evening, a group of traveling players arrived in Stratford. They carried wooden benches, a small stage, and oil lamps. They wore bright costumes and strange masks. They spoke lines from a play about kings and queens, love and betrayal. William left his chores to watch them. He stood close to the stage, heart beating fast. He felt as if the words were magic. He heard laughter and gasps from the crowd. His eyes were wide with wonder. At that moment, he knew he must learn more about this art. After the show, William walked home under a pale moon. He could see the old church tower and the quiet river. His mind was full of images. He saw knights fighting fierce battles. He saw queens weeping in grand halls. He saw lovers speaking in soft voices. William grabbed a scrap of paper and tried to write his own words by candlelight. His first lines were rough, but he felt joy as he wrote them. He spoke to himself, imagining how these words would sound on a stage. Here are 5 important words from this story. The first word is curious. Curious means wanting to learn or know more. The second word is mystery. Mystery means something we cannot explain. The third word is enchanted. Enchanted means feeling wonder or magic. The fourth word is wander. Wander means to walk around slowly without a plan. The fifth word is imagine. Imagine means to make a picture in your mind. Try to use each word in your own short sentence, such as, "I am curious about stories," or "I imagine a bright stage." Now you can pause and think about William's feelings. How did he feel when he first saw the actors? You can say, William felt amazed and enchanted. Practice this sentence out loud. Speak slowly and clearly. Then change the feeling words. For example, William felt curious and excited. When you speak, let your voice show the emotion. This helps you practice new words, feelings, and English sentence structure. Finally, try a small drawing and writing activity. Imagine the market square in Stratford. Draw 3 things you saw or heard: a horse, a leather glove, or a wooden stage. Then write 3 short sentences in English to describe your drawing. For example, I drew a brown horse. I saw a leather glove. I heard the noise of the market. This exercise helps you use listening, speaking, writing, and drawing to learn English. Keep your sentences simple and have fun with words and ideas. William stood by the gentle flow of the river Avon as dawn light warmed the stone bridges. He held a small bundle of clothes and a few coins in his hand. In Stratford, his family, his wife Anne and their children, offered comfort and safety, but William's heart pulsed with a restless desire. He wondered whether he should stay among familiar faces or step into the unknown world beyond. His palms felt damp with both fear and excitement. At last he whispered to himself, "I will go to London," and set off on the road that led him toward a new life. The journey to London was long and tiring. William walked past green fields and sleepy villages until he reached the city's edge. Instantly, he felt overwhelmed by the crowds and noise. Merchants shouted their wares, horses clipped down muddy lanes, and smoke from taverns drifted through narrow alleys. The streets were bustling with activity. He saw cloth stalls, fruit carts spilling bright apples onto the ground, and inns filled with travelers. William felt both small and hopeful. He reminded himself that every challenge could become an opportunity if he worked hard and stayed true to his dream. Money was tight, and William took odd jobs to buy bread and pay for a simple room. He carried messages for town criers, helped unload barrels at docks, and swept floors at inns. He saved each penny and used any free moment to watch actors he admired. Sometimes he slipped into a theater through a side door hidden among shadows. He learned how performers changed their voices for laughter or tears, and how they moved their bodies with grace. Little by little, his persistence paid off. Every small success strengthened his belief that he truly belonged in this world of stories and stage lights. One evening, a traveling troupe offered William a small speaking part in a new play. His first line was just a few words, but when he spoke under the glow of an oil lamp, the words felt alive. His heart thumped like a drum as he joined the other actors on the crowded stage. The audience leaned forward at every sentence. When his final line ended, the crowd clapped softly at first, then burst into louder approval. In that moment, William felt a surge of joy. He was not just a visitor. He was part of this world. Now you can practice a short role-play exercise. Imagine you and a partner are actors. One of you says, "I feel excited to be on stage." The other replies, "You are a brave actor. Speak slowly and clearly." Then switch roles, focusing on your voice and pause after each sentence. This activity helps you build confidence in speaking English with real emotions. After his first performance, William reflected on his feelings. Write 3 simple sentences in English. For example, he was nervous before speaking, he felt proud after applause, and he hopes to learn more. Then think of your own first step story. Write 1 sentence about a time you tried something new, such as starting a class or moving to a new city. Sharing personal experiences connects your learning to real life. William's journey shows that courage and persistence can open doors. He left home with just a few coins, but carried a rich dream in his heart. By working hard, learning from every actor he met, and never giving up, he found his place on the stage. As you practice English, remember that each word you learn and each sentence you speak is a step on your own journey. Keep moving forward, and you too will find new opportunities beyond what you can imagine. William's success on the London stage never lessened his love for Anne Hathaway back in Stratford. They had married in 1582, and Anne stayed at home to care for their children while William pursued his dreams. Every letter he wrote carried his longing and gratitude. and every return visit reminded him how much he valued her steady support. In his plays, he began to weave in themes of love, loyalty, and sacrifice, echoes of his own heart and the distance that separated them. He wrote of husbands and wives who waited with patient hope, of families torn apart by duty, and of the quiet strength found in home. Through these stories, his audience saw not only dramatic tales, but also reflections of enduring human bonds. By 1599, William had achieved a milestone when the Globe Theatre opened on the south bank of the Thames. Its round wooden structure rose like a crown over the bustling river, offering a new kind of stage under the open sky. Groundlings packed the yard below, leaning forward on their toes to catch every word, while wealthier patrons looked down from the balconies. The laughter and gasps of the crowd became William's greatest reward. The scent of roasted chicken mixed with cool evening air as actors delivered his words with passion. For him, the Globe was more than a building. It was the fulfillment of years of hard work and dreams long held in his mind. Life on the stage brought triumph, but it also brought hardship. In 1606, the plague swept through London, forcing the theaters to close and leaving artists without their nightly work. During this dark time, William turned to sonnets, short, heartfelt poems about loss, hope, and the fragility of life. He wrote late into the night by candlelight, using simple language to capture deep emotion. His sonnets spoke of empty stages, quiet streets, and the ache of separation. Yet they also spoke of resilience, reminding readers that creativity and love could flourish even in despair. These poems offered comfort to those who read them and preserved William's own spirit through the plague years. After the theaters reopened, William's plays continued to draw crowds, and his reputation spread far beyond England. His question, to be or not to be, Hamlet still resonates with anyone facing difficult choices. Romeo and Juliet's promise of love in the face of danger speaks to young hearts everywhere. His tragedies and comedies alike cross cultural boundaries, performed in cities from Tokyo to New York. Directors adapt his stories to new settings, and actors bring fresh life to his characters. In classrooms around the world, students study his sentences for their beauty and power. Every time an actor speaks a line he wrote more than 400 years ago, they prove that his words still matter. In his final years, William returned to Stratford and walked along the River Avon, reflecting on a life of both triumph and trial. He found peace, knowing that his work had touched countless lives, and would continue to do so after his death. Anne and his daughters welcomed him home, and he spent his days in simple comfort, sharing stories of his time on the stage. When he picked up his pen one last time, it was to write not for fame, but for the memory of love, family, and the power of words. William Shakespeare's journey from a curious boy in Stratford to a dramatist whose works define English literature proves that bold dreams and steady devotion can create a legacy that outlives us all. His life teaches us that love and ambition can coexist, that creativity can flourish even in hardship, and that the stories we tell can bridge centuries. As learners of English, we carry forward his simple yet profound gift, words that speak to every human heart. Over more than 40 years, William Shakespeare's life became an extraordinary journey from a small town to the stages of the world. He was born in Stratford-upon-Avon, where narrow streets echoed with horses' hooves and market vendors' cries. As a boy, his curious mind asked, why? About everything. The color of the sky, the nature of truth, and the rhythms of the river that flowed by his home. That curiosity led him to the magic of theater when traveling players arrived and showed him how simple words could move an audience. Leaving Stratford gave him both fear and hope. He walked into bustling London with only a few coins. He took odd jobs to survive, then watched actors and learned their craft. His persistence paid off when he spoke his first lines on a dimly lit stage and felt the applause of a real crowd. He wrote short scenes that quickly grew into full plays. He married Anne Hathaway and balanced family life with long days at the Globe Theatre. Even the plague years did not stop him. He wrote sonnets by candlelight and reminded people that art could heal the heart. In his final years, William returned to Stratford to rest beside the gentle river Avon. He left behind more than 30 plays, hundreds of sonnets, and a lasting legacy that crosses every border and language. Today, we still feel his words in every to be or not to be, in every tale of love and loss. His story shows us how a single spark of curiosity can light a fire that warms the world for centuries. The deep lesson we learn is this: curiosity, courage, and persistence can transform a simple dream into a timeless legacy. When we stay curious, we keep our minds open to new ideas. When we act with courage, we step beyond our comfort zone. When we persist through struggles, we turn small sparks into lasting flames. You can apply this lesson in your own life by asking questions every day, by practicing English even when it feels hard, and by staying determined when you face setbacks. Congratulations! By listening to this story from beginning to end, you have strengthened your English listening and comprehension skills. Now, let us test your memory. Which city did William travel to chase his dream? A. London. B. Paris. Please comment A or B below. We love reading your answers. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our channel for more inspiring English learning content. Your support helps us keep creating free lessons. If you can, please consider donating. Every contribution, big or small, helps us cover costs and continue our work. Thank you for learning with us.